Welcome to the Radium Records channel. I'm Bradley Deniston, and today we're talking about 3 new plugins from a brand new company called Tuned Plugins, and it's from the same creators that make the Safari pedals stuff, so you know it's gonna be fire. I'm gonna be diving into these 3 plugins. They're all vocal centric. So we have a vocal tuning plugin, we have a vocal chain plugin with EQ, compression, saturation, and we also have a vocal reverb plugin. I'm going to show you use cases for these plugins on an actual song, and if you stick around till the end of the video, I got something really special for you guys for free. Let's get into it. Here are the 3 new plugins. We have the vocal tune, the vocal chain, and the tuned reverb plugin. And this is just really easy to use. You can see right at top, you have some just presets, easy stuff, go bam, 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 ad-libs on fire. You know, all you're really doing is tweaking the tune speed, format, and vibrato, which brings me to something kind of cool is that you have format pitching, you know, which is super dope. That's basically taking the length of the throat and either making it longer or shorter. So you get more chipmunk or more
like a monster kind of vibe.
You have an input here, which is going to give you a gain in and out. And then there's actually a reverb return here, which is kind of interesting. I didn't even notice that reverb before. All right. And the tune speed, you can adjust that here on the dial. Pretty simple. Vibrato, same thing. Select the key. You have a key here. You have the scale, minor, and then you have type. You have a modern or a transparent. That's vocal tune. All right, so the next up is the vocal chain. I'm actually gonna take all the plugins off of my lead vocal in my track, In the Mood, and I'm gonna switch them out for just these plugins and see where we can get with them. So here we have an EQ, we have a body, low cut, and an air. Interesting. So the low cut, I'm imagining, is just a high pass filter, it looks like, right? All the way up to 180 hertz. And then the body, I'm imagining, is going to be pushing up maybe some 500. Who knows? We're going to hear it. And then the air, which is some top stuff, okay? And then you have a saturation, just one knob saturation. We'll hear it. That looks pretty sick. I like the colors happening. And then compression, it looks like it's very, very basic. You're not like, it's all fixed ratio and everything. So you're just turning the compression up or down. And you can see by the knee that it's kind of in between a hard knee and a soft knee, right? So it's just kind of a medium knee. And then you got a blend knob, so mix knob. You know, you can do parallel processing on this. Super cool. Oversampling on all plugins. I think that's important when you hit compression, anything that's going to add distortion or artifacts to the signal. So you have oversampling here. Last up in the suite is the tuned reverb. So we have some presets up here. All it's really doing is adjusting the pre-delay, the time, and then you have an air and a body. We're going to mess around. Let's hear these things in action. First thing I want to do is play you guys just the vocals as they are on this verse part.
You call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down.
Pretty simple, but it has nice space around it. It sounds kind of vintage, warm. Now let's just hear the duplicate vocal. This is with nothing on it. I'm going to bypass all the plugins. And then we're going to try to get this mixed with these 3 plugins.
You call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down.
All right, so that's the dry vocal. As you can tell, I recorded it pretty well, but this needs some tuning, obviously. So we are in E minor. So we'll open up vocal tune here and pop this on E minor. I'm gonna go with transparent to start. And then the tune speed, we'll take it to, it says 36 milliseconds. I think that's actually a pretty good time. And then the amount, this is a blend of the amount of tuning you're going to be doing. I think a transparent, you probably want to blend in like 80% or something. And then vibrato, we'll leave that. And let's check it out. Let's see what this did to the tune.
You call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down.
Sounds really cool, actually. I like the tone of it. It has definitely that modern, like, you know, super quick kind of vibe right away. But once I pulled it back a little bit on the tune speed, it sounds a lot more organic and natural. I, of course, can turn up the vibrato a little bit because I'm ending my notes sometimes with a little... All right, and then I want to try this reverb just to hear it.
You call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down. On and on you go about all those city nights out.
Yo, I fuck with that reverb. That sounds really nice. All right, so let's turn on the vocal chain because this definitely needs some compression. I'm losing words, I'm losing syllables, etc. I'm gonna pick a preset here. So let's go with like thick with grit. Okay, so this got saturation, compression pretty heavy, and we're blending though. We're doing 27% blend. The air is boosted up, body's boosted up, and low cut is brought all the way up to 122. I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but let's just go, boop, here's the preset.
You call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down. On and on you go about all those city nights out. And even though I didn't say all the things that came to my mind when I first met you, I just wanna know you feel the same before I pour out my heart, change the mood.
All right, let's bypass this in and out. I'm feeling like the air band is a little unnatural on this song, and the saturation's too much for what I'm doing on this song. But you can hear it gives a really nice color. I don't mind the saturation at all. It's just not right for this style of music. So I'm going to kind of mess around with this, and then I'm gonna bypass this in and out. Let's check it out, just bypassed in and out.
You call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down. On and on you go about all those city nights out.
All right, that sounds actually pretty good. I like the compression. I'm not a huge fan of the air band, but I'm not really a huge fan of any air band, like especially on vocals, especially for this style. I'm trying to do like a rounded off top, you know what I mean? So this may be really good for like a whispery female pop vocal, or even like rap, you know, where you're going for that Lil Wayne, Drake cut, you know what I'm saying? So you can hear that air really well. So that's how I have it set up here. Little saturation, compression, and it sounds pretty good. Like it has definitely a tone to it for sure. All right, so let's finish this off with the actual reverb here, the tuned reverb. And I don't know, I'm gonna maybe just bypass this reverb for now, just turn it all the way down, and let's just dial in our reverb here. So I like to do a reverb with a pre-delay. I think that's like kind of signature to what I do with reverbs. So I like to usually do about 15 to 40 milliseconds as a pre-delay, and I pay attention to the BPM of the song. So just a little sauce for you guys. 120 right now with this song. I think right around like 25 to 35 on the pre-delay is going to be really nice. So I'm going to just start at around 30. And the body, I don't really like a whole lot of body in my reverb. I'm just going to keep that 0, and then the air 0. And then I'm going to turn the time up to maybe like a 3 to 3.5 second reverb time. And then we can start to blend this because we are inserting it right on the channel. So this is just going to be like if you were sending to a reverb and blending it back in. So I do love that about, you know, just inserting a reverb and turning up the blend. All right, so let's check this out, and then we'll adjust the body and air.
You call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down. On and on you go about all those city nights out. And even though I didn't say all the things that came to my mind when I first met you, I just wanna know you feel the same before I pour out my heart, change the mood.
I'm getting a ton of tone. The saturation, especially on the compressor, the reverb is adding tone, everything's adding tone, and it has its own feel and its own sound. I'm just gonna solo out the vocals so you can really hear as I bypass in and out. I'm also gonna try to gain match this as good as possible, and just listen to the tone of the plugins because I can hear they sound pretty damn analog. And one thing I think I would really want as an update when they go to update these, because I think this is the very first version, is maybe just an EQ, like a graphic EQ or a mid band or something you can sweep the frequency with instead of just having this low cut body air. I think it would just be better if you had something with a little bit more control here, because I hear kind of like this like frequency build up in the 500 kind of muffly kind of sound, right? So I'd like to clear that up and not be stuck with with just this EQ. Otherwise, like these sound insanely good and really colorful. And I think they're starting the package out at like $100 for all 3 plugins. And the tuning sounds really good to me. I really like the tuning. Oh, and also I have this going to a vocal mix bus. I'm just going to bypass everything on the vocal mix bus here as well, just so we really get a dry vocal, and then we'll only hear the plugins.
Call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down. On and on you go about all those city nights out. You call me up to talk when your mood's right. Sunset with your lights down. On and on you go about all those city nights out.
So you can really hear the tone that it's putting on it. And this is with all plugins bypassed. This is just the vocals completely dry, and then the vocals with just these plugins on them. Final thoughts on this is just, man, the vocal tuning alone sounds great. Like that's really what I want out of a $100 package. The reverb sounds insane. Sounds like you can get really lush reverbs going. Like right away, I felt like the reverb was perfect. I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm not a huge fan of the vocal chain right now, but I think that with a couple iterations, like maybe version 1.1 or something, you know, if they just messed around with this EQ band and gave me something to be able to mess around with cutting, you know, I think that that would help a lot instead of just having this low cut. That's my biggest thing. And the airband for me, like I don't work on a whole lot of like really glossy pop stuff, but I think that that's going to be really dope for glossy pop stuff, whispery vocals, and rap vocals. I love the blend knob on everything. The UIs are really clean, super easy to use. This is my first time literally opening them up, and they're just like easy. I got it. I don't need to go read a manual. But that's it. Those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoy, and grab the pack in the description. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments. You know what to do. Peace.